Okay. Good morning. Am I audible to you? Hello. Okay. Good morning. Yes. Shall we begin? Very good. See, I'll continue the class from leaf onwards. One more time. What are the parts present in a leaf? Remember, leaf. It's a lateral organ mainly responsible for photosynthesis, and this is the one which is also responsible for transpiration of water. Remember, as much as photosynthesis is important for a plant, transpiration is also same way important, because if a plant could not able to perform transpiration, immediately the plant is going to die. Don't believe transpiration always happen through leaf, but wherever maximum amount of transpiration is happening at the time, leaf is going to be a major part. Okay, for the sake of transpiration, there are some specially designed bodies are present in a plant, that's called as stomata. Do you remember that? The stomata, which is present in the leaf, majorly responsible for transpiration. Think about that. If we pluck all the leaves from a plant not only have a disturbance for photosynthesis, plant also possess a kind of problem for transportation of food and water, because in the plant always transportation happening by the pressure generated by transpiration. That phenomenon is called transpiration pull. Transpiration pull generated in aerial parts of the plant with the help of leaf. So if they asking the statement, what are the functions of leaf, in there you also should include a leaf is also majorly responsible for transportation that is taking place in the plant body over longer distances. Okay, then come back. If you take a leaf, this is the leaf lamina and leaf petiole. Leaf lamina is also called epipodium. Leaf lamina has a name called epipodium, and this is called as hypopodium. Hypopodium. Leaf blade, mainly an elaborated structure which is responsible for trapping light and also transpiration. And also within the leaf, whatever the within the leaf blade or leaf lamina, whatever the food that it has been conducted or synthesized, it is going to be transported through veins to other parts of the plant. Careful, generally food does not going to store inside the leaf lamina. Generally, most of the cases, food is not going to stored in leaf lamina. Of course, temporarily some amount of food would be stored in the chloroplast, but later definitely it has to be transported away from the leaf for the sake of storage in other organs. You will read this statement: rarely stem store food, root also can store food, but we don't say leaf lamina can able to store food. Rarely some cases there is a chance leaf base can store food, but majorly leaf lamina does not store food. Next one, this leaf lamina meant for photosynthesis. It has edges. Remember, these are called the incisions. Incision means internal bendings. If these incisions are generated, that is the leaf which has saw edge, and the leaf that does not possess any incisions, that leaf is called simple edged leaf. Anyhow, consider this. If a leaf has petiole mainly responsible for fluttering of leaf in the wind. Why a leaf first of all should flutter? First thing, if leaf constantly exposes to sun, not only it receives light, it also receives heat simultaneously. And at the same time, during at the time of photosynthesis, a leaf constantly generating various kinds of gases. Among them, first one, oxygen. When you consider this, if oxygen is accumulated inside the leaf, that is going to be too much dangerous for the leaf survival. That's why during the fluttering the wind, two things are going to be happening. One is, due to fluttering, leaf surface area constantly get cooled, and at the same time, whenever the gas is generated, the gases will be removed from the surface, fresh gases are going to be taken inside. That is the use of our leaf lamina. Okay, fluttering the leaf lamina. Leaf petiole, it's not a regular organ. Sometimes a leaf may have petiole, that's called petiolated leaf. If a leaf has no petiole, that's called sessile leaf. Sessile means tailless. Here they have considered petiole of a leaf is tail. So if it is there, petiolated leaf. If it is not there, that is called sessile leaf. Then come to stipules. Remember, on both sides of leaf base, some of the leaves are having a small fine structured bodies which are like sometimes tendrils, sometimes thorns, and sometimes soft. It's not always they are going to be soft. Various shapes will be there. Anyhow, this kind of parts are called stipules. When you talk about stipules, stipules are having various advantages. First, what is the main use of stipules? While leaf is developing from the node, these stipules are making the leaf bud to be protected. I mean, the primordial leaf will get protected with the help of stipules. If the plant wanted to maintain those stipules for longer time, that is called stipulated leaves. Stipulated. And if the leaf has no stipule after the maturation, that leaf is called exstipulated. Exstipulated. Okay. Most common example among the families that they have mentioned in our textbook for stipulated leaves, that is Fabaceae members. Careful. Fabaceae members are having stipules. Exstipulated leaves, that is our Solanaceae, other varieties of families. Okay, then come back to the remaining parts. When you talk about leaf base, the leaf base is nothing but the part of the leaf where petiole get connected to stem, that is called as leaf base. When you talk about leaf base, various plants are having various varieties of leaf bases, but regular modes of modification if you consider, in case of monocots, leaf base is going to be sheathy. What do you mean by sheathy? It may be around the stem, either completely sometimes or partially it is going to cover around the stem. As we know, leaf develop from the node. In that case, around the node, if the leaf base has been growing to cover up the stem, this is called as fully covered leaf base. In that case, mostly monocots are having such mode of leaf base. But another case, a leaf base may be pointed. Pointed leaf base means on the surface of the stem at the nodal region, just at one point you can see the presence of leaf base. This is called pointed leaf base. Careful. Leaf base sheathy in case of monocots, leaf base pointed in case of dicots. This is a general description. Clear? Then, when it comes to leaf bases, out of all varieties of leaf bases, one thing we need to confirm, that is pulvinous leaf base. Pulvinous means swollen. Pulvinous leaf base is a characteristic feature of Fabaceae family. Very, very important. In case of Leguminaceae members or Fabaceae members, they have a leaf base that is little swollen at the attachment portion of the leaf base to stem. Such kind of leaf bases are called as pelvinous leaf bases. Pelvinous leaf bases are characteristic feature of Fabaceae members. Is it okay? This is the introduction. Then go to in another part of leaf, that is venation. Venation. Listen. Venation. Arrangement of veins and veinlets. This is called as venation. Don't confuse with the term called vernation. There is another term in biology or especially in morphological thing, vernation. Vernation. This is arrangement of young leaves. Arrangement of young leaves in shoot tip or shoot bud. We will call it as vernation. Be very careful. Vernation, venation are two different terms. Generally, when we take bryophytes, pteridophytes, especially in pteridophytes, they are having well developed leaves. In case of bryophytes, they are having leaf like structures. Okay, these leaf like structures, they will be having some pattern of arrangement during their development. That pattern of arrangement we call it as vernation. You may be come across this term cercinate vernation, parallel vernation. These are all are arrangement of young leaves in a stem or during a stem growing in bud condition. What are the ways inside that stem leaves are arranged? This phenomenon is called vernation. Let me talk about here venation. Again, come back to our word venation. I said arrangement of veins and veinlets in a stem in a leaf. We call it as venation. Venation or venation. Simply consider this. If you take a leaf over there, the overall area of a leaf, consider this is lamina. Okay. In the lamina, there is a special kind of mesophyll tissue. There is a special type of parenchymatous tissue is present. This parenchymatous tissue is called mesophyll tissue, which is the one mainly responsible for photosynthesis. In that case, if mesophyll tissues are performing photosynthesis and constantly synthesizing sugars, where to transport the sugars and where to store them, that would be varies from plant to plant, but within the leaf lamina, generally they are not going to store for longer duration of time. Okay, in that case, whatever the photosynthetes have been synthesized, these photosynthetes are going to be collected in a specially designed vascular bundles. These specially designed vascular bundles are called veins. If you consider a vein, within a vein, what are the parts are present? In the vein, xylem, well known as hydrome or water conducting tissue. Another one is phloem. This xylem and phloem, so-called conducting tissues, they are the one who are collecting various types of food materials generated by our leaf. Over there, this xylem and phloem will be covered by sheath, which is also called bundle sheath. Bundle sheath. That's it. If anybody asks, what are the parts that are present in a vein? A vein contains water conducting element xylem, food conducting element phloem. Around them, there is a kind of covering of cells. That covering of cell we call it as bundle sheath cells. Bundle sheath cells, they are also a kind of parenchymatous cells. Generally they do not carry chloroplast and they do not provide any kind of food to vascular tissues. Their work is only for protection. Then rarely these bundle sheath cells also can carry chloroplast and they even can perform photosynthesis in case of C4 plants. That's a general story. Is it okay? But come back to the statement. These veins are providing two kinds of components to, I mean, two advantages to a leaf. One advantage, veins responsible for providing mechanical stability to the leaf. Mechanical stability. Why are you talking about mechanical stability? Leaf, which is a soft part made up of parenchymatous cell, it need a kind of shape and orientation. The shape and orientation developed by veins. Of course, in the leaf, veins are going to be arranged in various mechanisms or various patterns. Based on the pattern, the shape of the leaf is also going to be vary. Anyhow, veins are the one who are providing mechanical stability to the leaf. Remember, in the leaf, if only, consider this, if only presence of mesophyll cell, that should not be considered as leaf. It should be considered as leaf-like organ. Consider this. I will take a part of a plant which is performing photosynthesis, which is not a leaf. Got it? The part which is not a leaf performing photosynthesis, which does not have any kind of veins. That part not to be considered as leaf. Generally, such kind of parts we will identify in case of bryophytes and the plants lower than them. Such kind of parts are called frond. Do you remember a word? Frond that we studied in bryophytes and algae. Frond, leaf-like body. It performs photosynthesis. It does whatever the leaf is doing, but it does not have mechanical stability due to lack of proper veins. Got it? Next one. And veins also responsible for transportation. This is about story of veins. Next come to exact part that is called venation. When you talk about venation mainly of two types. I am saying mainly. There are various mechanisms are there regarding to veins arrangement. Since we are strictly following the content given in NCERT book, we will follow only the statements and the principles given in our NCERT book. I am talking about venation concepts which are given in NCERT book. Next, venation, if you are talking, there are two main varieties of venation: reticulate, and the next one, parallel venation. Reticulate, veins and veinlets arranged like a network, like a net. We consider it as reticulate venation. Remember, reticulum means net-like structure or mesh-like structure. There are some uneven movements of their strings. Over there it appear like a net-like structure. That's why it is a kind of reticulate mechanism of venation. Parallel venation, over here veins run parallel to each other. Veins run parallel to each other means almost all veins equal in size. Almost all veins equal in size. That's okay. But they run parallel to one another. For example, if I consider a leaf which has parallel venation over there, all the veins run parallel to one another. so that the veins almost all same in size. Remember one statement when we were studying about anatomy, there we have mentioned when it comes to monocots, vascular bundles almost all similar in size. Okay, that means inside a vein, if I observe the arrangement of xylem and phloem, the xylem and phloem arrangement will be almost similar in size in all over the surface of the leaf, because veins are parallel in nature. But when it comes to reticulate venation, the arrangement will be, they have a concept, there is a mid vein which is the largest vein, and mid vein produces so many lateral veins. Lateral veins will end up like veinlets. Altogether the arrangement of the veins are going to be appear like a network. This phenomenon is called as reticulate venation. Where do we see reticulate venation and where do we see parallel venation? Let me take reticulate venation is generally identified in, I am not saying in all dicots, generally in dicots, generally in dicots. Parallel venation generally in monocots, in monocots. But whenever you take a general statement, there would be some kind of exceptions. All dicots are carrying reticulate venation. That's a wrong statement. But when it comes to reticulate venation, which is a characteristic feature of dicotyledonous plants, there have some exceptions. For example, calophyllum, calophyllum, calophyllum. It is a kind of dicot with reticulate venation. Reticulate venation. Next one, smilax. Smilax is a monocot with parallel with, sorry, calophyllum is a dicot with parallel venation. Sorry for that. Parallel venation. Smilax is a monocot with reticulate venation. Like that, there are few exceptions are there with parallel venation and reticulate venation, but generally reticulate venation is seen in dicot leaves. Monocots possess parallel venation. Then let me show you some of the leaves with reticulate and parallel venation in their structures. See, in this leaf you can identify this is a main vein going, it has the veins. You can see that they are creating a network like structure inside the leaf. That network like structure carefully allow the stable presence of mesophyll cell or mesophyll tissue. Then they are the one mainly responsible for photosynthesis inside the leaf. This is an example of reticulate venation. Then let me take a one which is showing parallel venation. Look at this, the leaves. This is a monocot leaf. The leaves are having the veins running parallel to one and another. They are almost equal in size. Almost all veins equal in size. One word I wanted to recall. In some of the monocot leaves, they are having mid vein. except that midvein, if it there, I'm not saying every monocot leaf definitely should be possessing midvein, that's not the concept. If midvein is there, consider a leaf may be large. In that sense, the leaf need some more mechanical stability. That's why there is a development of midvein. If a leaf that it has midvein, that midvein will be the largest vein. Remaining all veins are approximately similar in size. Are you catching the statement? Simple. If there is a monocot leaf, typically we observe almost all veins similar in size. But in some of the monocotyledonous leaves, they have midvein. The midvein is going to be the largest vein. Remaining all veins of that plant will be having the size exactly similar to one and another. Clear? This is about monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous leaves and their pattern of venation. You can see here, this is in another dicotyledonous leaf where it has a prominent midvein, and there is a development of lateral veins. Those lateral veins are supporting or connected to midvein, and altogether the leaf is going to be mechanically stable. See what they have mentioned about venation in our book. The arrangement of veins and veinlet. This phenomenon is called venation. Remember, be very careful. Sometimes there are some parts of the plant which behave like leaves, which means there may be a petiole, there may be a stem, even sometimes there may be a root. They transform themselves to conduct the processes and the properties that are exhibited by leaf. At the time, they don't have a process called as venation. Imagine there are some kind of plants which are having their leaf petiole will get elongated and expanded like a leaf like part. I mean lamina like part. Generally it does not possess veins. And also some of the plants like cactus, euphorbia, their body itself is transformed into green leaf like photosynthetic body, which is also is not going to be having any kind of veins. Is it okay? We study venation only in leaves, not any part that is behaving like a leaf. When veinlets form a network, the venation is termed as reticulate. When veins run parallel to each other with lamina, within a lamina, the venation is termed as parallel. Leaves of dicotyledonous plants generally possess, they are saying generally. And I have given one exception. Calophyllum is a dicot with parallel venation. Like that, there are many are there. It's not just only one, there are many. Next one. While parallel venation is a characteristic of most of the monocotyledonous plants. Look at this. Here they are showing a leaf. This is monocot leaf. Look at this. In this leaf, there is a midvein. It's not that compulsorily in a monocotyledonous leaf there should be a presence of midvein. Most of the cases, monocotyledonous leaves do not have midvein. If it is there, it would be appear like this. That is the one which is the largest among the veins, and the remaining areas there is no such kind of large size. Almost all they are similar in size. Look at this reticulate venation in this leaf. Prominent vein, midvein, and lateral veins are developed. Then go to types of leaves. Look at these types of leaves. In this, simple to understand, there are some leaves, their lamina is entire. What do you mean by entire? complete. It does not going to cut into parts. That's called entire, whole, entire. In that case, this is the lamina which is entire. It has veins, veinlets, whatever it may be. It is complete. No any incisions. Incisions, I told you, internal protrusions or internal cutting of the leaf lamina are called incisions. In that case, consider there is another leaf I am taking. It has incisions. Catch this. It has incisions. These are all of the incisions. But these incisions are not going to touch to midrib. See, this is a leaf without incision, and these are the incisions. Incisions, internal cuttings. The incisions are without incisions. This area we will consider it as simple leaf, or this kind of leaf is called simple leaf. When incisions develop, these incisions do not touch to midrib. Catch this idea. There has been an internal cutting has developed. Even it developed, if you wanted to call that leaf as a simple leaf, that internal cutting should not touch to midrib. That's the rule. So if you have such kind of leaf, that leaf is called simple leaf. Next one. There are some kind of leaves are called compound leaf. Imagine I am talking about there is a development of compound leaf. Simple leaf. The next one is compound leaf. Simple leaf. First, no incisions. There should be no incisions. If incisions develop, should not touch midrib. Should not touch midrib. This condition is called as simple leaf. Okay. What is a compound leaf? Compound leaf. If I take a compound leaf will be having incision. Careful. Simple leaf may have incisions, may not be. But if you are saying a leaf become compound or there is a compound leaf, definitely the leaf should contain incisions. Incisions present in lamina. Lamina is the part which is modified into individual parts. That's why there should be a presence of incisions in the lamina. Without incisions in the lamina, you cannot make the leaf is compound leaf. So consider I am making, how did a simple leaf can be transformed into a compound leaf? This is a midrib and it is its lamina. Still I am calling this leaf as a simple leaf. During the course of change, gradually this incision has come and touched to midrib. From this side, incision has come and touched to midrib. Now, what would be the transformation? This is the midrib. Over there, this is an incision. This is another incision. That means cut made a part of a lamina has been separated from the remaining part. This is the remaining part of the lamina, and this part of the lamina has been separated. That separated part would be attached to midrib and like this there are development of several small smart parts of lamina. Okay, now imagine this is petiole. This is petiole. What is this? This is midrib. And what is this? This was earlier we used to call it as lamina. Now the lamina has been incised and we will call it as leaflet. We call it as leaflet. Is it okay? Like this. Lamina, if incised into individual small part, this phenomenon is called as compound leaf or formation of compound leaf. Earlier it was like this whole body, but gradually its lamina, due to some reasons for adaptations, it has been divided into individual parts. Those individual parts we call it as leaflet. See, look at this. In this case, midrib is long and strong and bearing all the leaflets that are developed in that compound leaf. That midrib we call it as rachis. Rachis or rachis, somebody pronounce like that, no problem. Over there, this midrib is called as rachis. Careful. When I have a simple leaf like this and I have a midrib, careful, this midrib is not to be mentioned as rachis. Rachis is there only in one variety of compound leaf. That to be all leaflets must come and attach to that midrib, an elongated midrib. This kind of compound leaf generally call it as pinnately compound leaf. Pinnately compound leaf. Pinna means feather. If a compound leaf appears like a feather, that's called pinnately compound leaf. In some other cases, what happens? This is a petiole, consider, and this is the end of the petiole. Leaf lamina will get incised or cut into parts. All these parts will come and attaches to one point of leaf or leaf petiole at its tip. These are all are leaf petioles. Leaf petioles. These are all are leaflets. And this part is called leaf petiole. Leaf petiole. See, all leaflets have been attached to a common point, and this entire leaf along with the leaflets, this entire leaf appear like a palm. That's why it is called palmately compound leaf. Palmately compound leaf. Imagine a statement. Somebody says rachis is present in compound leaves. Rachis is present in compound leaves. Correct. Rachis is present in compound leaf. But rachis never present in palmately compound leaf. What do you mean by rachis? An elongated midrib on which all leaflets must get attached. That's what is called elongated leaflet is elongated midrib is called as rachis. Such kind of elongated midrib is absent over here. That is the reason why midrib is never going to be a rachis in case of simple leaf, or if it there here, actually in midrib in palmately compound leaf it is not present. If it is there here, it is not to be mentioned as rachis. In this case, imagine the best example for pinnately compound leaf according to in our NCERT book. Pinnately compound leaf, best example, it is going to be neem, and also curry leaves. So many other varieties of come across there. And palmately compound leaf, silk cotton, which is also called bombax. Like this, simple leaf and another variety called compound leaf. Let me briefly recall what is the difference between simple and compound leaf. If you take a leaf which is simple, it has lamina as entire or complete or whole. But some cases in a simple leaf, lamina may be incised, but these incisions do not touch to midrib. Such kind of leaf is called simple leaf. So many plants will have this simple leaf. Next, compound leaf. If you take a compound leaf, first rule is its lamina must be incised. Lamina must be divided into small individual parts. Each individual part of a lamina is called leaflet. In that case, if all these leaflets are attached to midrib, which is an elongated midrib, such kind of compound leaf is called pinnately compound leaf. Best example, neem. If you take palmately compound leaf, there you don't see rachis. On the tip of the petiole, all the leaflets will come and attach to a common point. This arrangement is called as palmately compound leaf in case of silk cotton or bombax murray. Imagine whether it is a simple leaf or compound leaf. Difference is incisions. If I take a compound leaf, on what basis you divided these compound leaves like that? That is not arrangement of leaves. That is arrangement of leaflets on a leaf. Leaflet means a small incised part of a lamina is called as leaflet. Let us take what they have given in our NCERT book regarding to this content. See, in the NCERT book, types of leaves. Carefully understand. A leaf is said to be simple when its lamina is entire or incised. Careful, whether it is an entire one or incised one, you can call it as simple leaf like this. This is a simple leaf. Next, a leaf the incision do not touch to midrib. When the incisions of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking it into the number of leaflets. That means lamina has been divided into small parts. That parts are called as leaflet. The leaf is called compound. The bud is present in the axil of the petiole in simple and compound leaf, but not in the axil of leaflet of compound leaf. What they wanted to say. Look at this. Generally, we mention if you take a leaf at the axil of the leaf, there is a presence of an axillary bud. This is an axil of a leaf. Consider this is stem, a leaf. Okay. This is a petiole, lamina, stem. Here, there is a presence of a bud called axillary bud. This is a usual characteristic of a leaf. Next one, consider I am making this simple leaf to become a compound leaf. The rules are the same. This is a petiole, and from here onwards there is a development of lamina. Lamina has been incised and divided into leaflets. This is so-called a compound leaf. Consider, if I wanted to arrange something called axillary bud in this leaf. Where do I arrange axillary bud? Axillary bud must be always at the axil of petiole or at the axil of a leaf. You can never have an axillary bud here. Arrangement of axillary bud like this is not possible because an axillary bud is not a part of leaf. It is a part of stem. Do you understand? On the surface of the stem, at the axil of the leaf, there is a bud called axillary bud. Later, this bud may develop into a branch or it may be developed into a flower. But if you talk about a leaf, leaf is not a stem. Of course, leaf is a part of a stem. It is not the main stem. It has developed laterally from the stem. In that case, on the stem you will identify axillary bud at the leaf axil. But on the leaf, you will never identify there is a presence of an axillary bud. Simple what they want to say. On the axil of a leaflet, no axillary bud. But on the axil of a leaf, either it may be a simple leaf or it may be a compound leaf. Definitely we will identify there is a presence of a kind of axillary bud. Are you catching the statement? Take leaf, that may be a simple compound leaf. At its axil, there is a presence of axillary bud. But on the point where a leaflet attaches to midrib, on that area, you will never identify an axillary bud. Clear? Now, when we wanted to observe a leaflet and a leaf, leaflet is a part of a leaf. A leaf is a whole lamina containing part is called as leaf. Imagine we take a small leaflet and comparing with another simple leaf. A leaflet and a simple leaf both are having same appearance but both are quite different. A leaflet is a part of a leaf. A leaf is a whole lamina containing part. Let me show you some of the things that I have collected. Simple and compound leaf. See, there is a leaf called compound leaf and there is a leaf called simple leaf. Catch it? This is look at this. This is a simple leaf and this part where it attaches to the stem, this area we are having some kind of structure that is called as axillary bud. Actually it is there. Okay? Simple leaf, petiole, axillary bud. Then what about compound leaf? Take a compound leaf over there. Actually we would find any variety of, this is earlier I told you, there is a silk cotton, bombax. You observe this. If imagine these are all leaflets. In their axil, you don't identify any kind of leaflet. Exactly, I will take a best example. This is a compound leaf of a Pisum sativum plant. Over there, a leaflet, another leaflet. You cannot see any kind of axillary bud at its axil because it is not a leaf. It is a leaflet. Keep it in mind. Okay? Like this, we have two varieties of leaves which are giving clear cut differentiation, simple leaf and compound leaf mechanisms. Next one, ma. They are saying compound leaf may be of two types. In a pinnately compound leaf, number of leaflets present on common axis. This common axis called rachis, which represents the midrib of the leaf, as in midrib. Remember, midrib is, in case of pinnately compound leaf, we call it as rachis. Rachis sometimes may have branches. Those branches of the rachis are called as rachilla. Palmately compound leaf. The leaflets are attached to a compound point at a common point, that is in case of the petioles of silk cotton. See this one, you can get an idea. This is neem. In this midrib, these are all our leaflets. This is the stem. Here you will identify axillary bud. There is no axillary bud on the point where leaflets get attached to rachis. Same thing, observe here. This is silk cotton leaf where all leaflets have been attached to a common point, and at the axils or at the angles where they attach to the petiole, there will be no any kind of axillary bud. Clear the statement? Like this, leaves have been arranged. Next one, types of leaves. After types of leaf, we will see there is a consideration called phyllotaxy. Another concept that is related to leaf, phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy. Phyllo means leaf. Phyllo, leaf. Taxis means arrangement. Taxis, arrangement. What is this phyllotaxis? Over there, arrangement of leaves on a stem. You take a stem and how leaves are arranged on the stem. This phenomenon is called phyllotaxy. There is no irregular arrangement of leaves on the stem. Always there is a particular pattern in which leaves arranged on the stem. Why there should be a pattern? You are talking about the leaves are arranging in a proper manner on the surface of a stem. Why leaves must be properly arranged on the surface of the stem? There is a particular reason for that. First one, when it comes to leaves always must be exposed to sun. A plant has produced a leaf. That leaf had been hidden under some internal parts of the stem. That leaf did not expose to sun. At the time, that leaf is going to become useless. That's why whatever the leaf that the plant ready to be produced, plant make sure that the leaf exposed to sun so that it can properly perform its regular activities. That's why in order to make all the leaves to be properly exposed to the sun, plants will have a definite pattern of arrangement of the leaf on their surface. This arrangement is called as phyllotaxy. What do you call that, ma? Phyllotaxy. Taxis, arrangement, phyllo, leaf. After that, imagine what are the types of phyllotaxis. There are various mechanisms are there, but few points we are discussing regarding to here phyllotaxy. First one, Alternate phyllotaxy. Alternate phyllotaxy. What is this alternate phyllotaxy? Earlier, when we were talking about leaves origin, we said leaves are always going to be originated on the stem in a particular point that is called node. Consider this. This is a leaf developed on a node. Definitely. Actually, it is not that leaves developing on the stem that is called node. No, no, no. Wherever there is a node, there is a development of leaf. Are you catching the idea? A point leaf has been developed, that is a node. Okay, but wherever leaf will develop, that should be definitely considered as node, because leaves never develop in random places on the surface of stem. So come back to the statement. This is a node on which a leaf is developed. Always one node has one leaf. One node always will have one leaf. In that, if a leaf developed at this portion, this side, right side, another leaf will develop in opposite side. Like this, every node has one leaf. If one side, look at this, first leaf has developed in, for example, right side. Second one, left, right, left, right, left. Like that, they go in alternate manner, zigzag pattern of arrangement. This zigzag pattern is called alternate phyllotaxy. Okay. When it comes to alternate phyllotaxy, best statement we need to first one node, one leaf. One node, one leaf. Okay. Most commonly asking statement regarding to this alternate phyllotaxy. See, I have taken, there is a stem which has 10 nodes. 10 nodes. Okay. In that stem, 10 nodes are there overall. How many buds on the stem you can identify? Remember, every node has one axillary bud. So 10 nodes, 10 axillary bud. They did not say particularly axillary buds. They are just saying how many buds are there. There are 10 axillary bud, and one apical or terminal bud will be present. There should be total 10 plus 1, 11 buds are going to be present. And they are also mentioned like this. There is a stem or there is a plant on which 5 branches are present. Every branch has 10 leaves. Then total number of buds that plant may possess. Every branch has 10 leaves. That means 10 nodes. Every node has one axillary bud. Like that, you can calculate every branch has 11 buds. They said 11 into 5, that equal to 55, plus 1 will be there. Why 1? Because if I take a branch, these are all our branches, there is a one bud that should be terminal. That is shoot apical bud. Each branch has 11, but 5 branches they mention. They are asking about number of buds. In every stem, tip should be having one bud. This is called as terminal bud or apical bud. Okay, like this, the most common type of question related to alternate phyllotaxy. Next one, opposite phyllotaxy. The best examples also you need to mention there. Examples: hibiscus, that is China rose, hibiscus and mustard, sunflower. I will show you some of them. They all are having alternate phyllotaxy. Next, go to opposite phyllotaxy. Opposite. What is the best thing we need to learn regarding to opposite phyllotaxy? One node, two leaves. One node, two leaves. They develop generally in opposite side. Consider this. This is a stem and its node. On a node, there should be two leaves. On a node, there should be two leaves. Two leaves. Like that, one node there is a development of two leaves. Now tell me, if one node has two leaves, how many buds or auxiliary buds will be present on one node? Definitely two. Be careful one more time. Whenever we talk about a node, if a node has one leaf, one auxiliary bud only, it's not that the stem may going to develop various number of auxiliary bud with respect to of the number of leaves. That's wrong. Always one leaf, one auxiliary bud. So here two leaves we have, there is a chance for the development of two auxiliary buds. The best examples we need to learn regarding to opposite phyllotaxy, guava. Next one, calotrophes. Calotrophes. I will show you them. Next one, whole phyllotaxy. Whole. One node, several leaves. It's not that one node has one or two. We will have numerous over there. All these leaves present in a node, they will be arranged like a ring. They will be arranged like a ring or oval around the stem. If it is a stem, on the node there will be surrounding of these leaves. This phenomenon is called oval phyllotaxy. The best example of oval phyllotaxy, Alstonia. Alstonia. Let me show you some of the things that I have collected regarding to. Okay, this is opposite phyllotaxy. You can see there a node, one leaf. A node, one leaf. This leaf, this side, that leaf, opposite. Such kind of arrangement is called opposite phyllotaxy. Next one, whole phyllotaxy, or this is alternate phyllotaxy. It's a hibiscus roja sinensis. Sorry. Next one, consider this in guava. See, there, particularly observe their leaves. In one node, this is a node, one node, there is a development of two leaves. One node, two leaves. One node, two leaves. One node, two leaves. But both are developed in opposite side. This is called opposite phyllotaxy. Let me take another opposite phyllotaxy. I wanted to show you the plant that is Calotropis. I have brought it. It is hidden somewhere else. Later I will show you when it come to my hand. Calotropis. Guava, Calotropis. All phyllotaxy. I've also shown you earlier. Whole phyllotaxy manner. All the leaves are arranged a ring-like manner. Be careful, ma. Earlier I have shown you something that is compound leaf as this one. Exactly a compound leaf and the whole phyllotaxy almost similar. But there is a difference. Anyhow, the leaves are developing on the stem. There the leaflets are going to develop at the tip of the petiole. But here you see all the leaves are arranged like a ring around a common point. This is called whole phyllotaxy. Anyhow, if they're asking what would be the major advantage of phyllotaxy, the advantage is all the leaves are properly exposed to sun so that the plant can able to perform photosynthesis easily. Next one. Let us check this content given in our NCERT book. Phyllotaxy is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or a branch. This is usually three types: alternate, opposite, whole. Careful, it's not that only these three types are existing in the nature. Within opposite, so many varieties are there. Within alternate, so many varieties are there. Just they wanted to give you an idea that there are some varieties of arrangement of leaves are there on the stem. Alternate type of phyllotaxy, single leaf arises at each node. Important. One node, one leaf. In an alternate manner. Examples of alternate phyllotaxy: China rose, mustard, sunflower. In opposite type, a pair of leaf arise at each node. Careful, number of nodes are equal to number of axillary buds. In opposite type, number of leaves are arranged each node, line opposite to each other, as in case of Calotropis and guava. If more than two leaves are arranged, arises at node, and the kind of thing is called whole phyllotaxy in case of Alstonia. Let us check some kind of leaf modifications also. You see, they did not mention the leaf modification. Let us consider what are the varieties of modifications typically we see in the leaves. Okay, few examples I will explain. Few just for knowing these are the modifications that we can see. First one, tendrils. Consider this: a leaf may have tendrils. This is the Pisum sativum leaf. It is generally possess compound leaf. That too, it has what type of compound leaf it is? If leaflets are attached to rachis, this is actually rachis. This is called pinnately compound leaf. Leaflets, the terminal leaflets are becoming tendrils. The tendrils are helping for climbing purpose. They are tender, flexible components. They can attach to any part of the solid support and they can able to help the plant to reach to new height. This is what you call tendrils. Okay. Next one, thorns. Tendrils, thorns, and don't mistake them with our imagine. These are thorns. They mention in our NCERT book without any difference. Some places they have thorns, some places they are saying they are spines. But actually, exact variation. Thorns are stem modification. Spines are leaf modification. You must have that variation, but in NCERT book, they did not separated these two terms. Sometimes they mention bougainvillea is having spines. In NCERT book, in a diagram, somewhere else they mention bougainvillea has spines, but actually bougainvillea has thorns. And somewhere else they have been mentioned the cactus, they're having thorns, but actually cactus has spines. Consider that. These are leaf modifications. Okay, the leaf modifications, especially I will take exactly the cactus. The cactus possess in the cactus, you see, do you remember this modification of stem? We call it as phylloclade. Do you remember that? In the phylloclade, leaf disappear. Why do leaves are disappearing there? These plants actually grow in an environment where water need to be conserved. That's nothing but they are growing generally in desertified environment. So if they continuously exposed to sun, excess quantity of water is evaporated, and at the same time they are growing in an environment where soil does not contain sufficient amount of water. So that in order to conserve water, they do two things. First one, they store water in their stem. Remember, this is fleshy stem also. The stem not only perform photosynthesis, the stem also store water. Next one. In order to conserve water, they do another thing, they remove leaves. Why leaves must be removed? Earlier I said, whenever it comes to leaf, leaf not only perform photosynthesis, it also responsible for controlling of transpiration. If more the leaf surface area, more the amount of transpiration, because more number of stomata could be developed on a leaf, that it has more surface area. That's why here the leaves started to disappear. When leaves started to disappear, just for the sake of avoiding of water transpiration, while disappearing, they are modifying into fine pointed structure. They are helping the plant for conservation of water. Now be careful. If there is any statement arise, why cactus leaves are modified into spines? The only reason, they wanted to avoid transpiration, since they are growing in an environment where water is very rarely available to them. That's the reason why they wanted to avoid the phenomena of transpiration. Clear? Next one. While they are transforming into spines, they are first of all avoiding transpiration. Next, they are giving another advantage. They are making the plant protecting its soft stem. The stem is storing water, so stem is becoming fleshy. Any herbivore easily can come and eat that stem. So the next advantage, the spines are helping the plant protected from herbivores. That's about spines. Two examples. First one, I mean two modifications I have mentioned. One is tendril, another one is spines. Spines are helping the plant. Here in this case, in case of cactus, spines are helping the plant to avoid transpiration, and also spines are helping the plant to protect from herbivorous animals. Next one, after that, let us consider some more examples regarding to leaf modifications. Earlier I told there is a concept called vernation. I told you, don't mistake venation and vernation. Venation is an arrangement of veins and veinlets on the lamina. Vernation is arrangement of young leaves on the stem. This is a kind of pteridophyte whose leaves are arranged in a particular pattern. This young leaf arrangement is called vernation. Particularly to say, this is cercinate vernation. Cercinate. The entire stem work like a ring like structure, and on the ring like structure leaves are arranged like this. In the stem modifications, in the leaf modification, another variety of modification that we need to discuss. Earlier I told you calotrophies. I have mentioned calotrophies is an example of the plant that it has opposite phyllotaxy. These two leaves developed on same node, they are arranged in opposite manner. This phenomenon is called opposite phyllotaxy. Next one, phylloid. I wanted to explain what is phylloid. Seema. This plant name is Australian acacia. Australian acacia. In this, see, this part what we observe, this is not actually a complete leaf. This is a part of leaf that is called petiole. This is petiole. Petiole. What happens over there? In Australian acacia, it develops a pinnately compound leaf in young stages. Gradually, its leaflets will get fall down because it also grow in an environment where water is very limited. It grows in desertified lands. Australian acacia. Okay. Then once leaf is getting fall down, its petiole, careful, its petiole, entire leaf is not going to fall down, only its leaflets getting fall down, its lamina disappear. In order to avoid transpiration, lamina has been disappear. Petiole get expanded. The expanded petiole become elaborate and started to perform photosynthesis. This is called phylloid. What do you call that? Phylloid. Phylloid. I think I have shown you. It is a variety of leaf modification. Phylloid, cladoid. Do you remember that? Phylloid, cladoid, phylloid. 3 varieties of bodies I have shown you in earlier class. Let us take it one more time. See, this is cladoid. If a small stem which is having single internodal length becomes green and perform photosynthesis, that's called cladoid. Next one, I have a body that is called as phylloid. What happens here? This is what I said about Australian acacia. Here, this is a young stage of pinnately compound leaf. This leaf stay for some time, later gradually disappear. If this part has become fall down, the petiole will get expand and started to perform photosynthesis. Such kind of body is called phylloid. What do you call that? Phylloid. Next, let us see phylloid. In a phylloid variety, stem getting appear like a leaf. Actually, the leaves fallen or leaves are modified in the form of spines, and the entire stem getting green and ready to be perform photosynthesis. This phenomenon is called as phylloid. There are 3 different modifications. Careful. Cladoid, a branch modified into green part, and phylloid, entire stem is modified into leaf-like photosynthetic part, and phylloid, leaf only performing photosynthesis but not lamina of the leaf. In a leaf, petiole get expanded to perform photosynthesis. This we will call it as phylloid. Clear? Next one. After this, I wanted to mention something regarding to the leaves that are performing various functions like insectivory and also helping for catching small rodents. And that, see this ma? This is grapevine. In earlier class, I think we have mentioned grapevines is a kind of stem modification where leaf tendrils are developing from buds, axillary buds, where the tendrils are going to develop into, tendrils develop from axillary bud. This is a stem modification. Next one. I wanted to show you some kind of leaf modification that could be developed in case of insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants, I am mentioning about nepenthes, which is commonly called pitcher plant. Pitcher plant. First of all, these are a variety of insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants. I have observed some of the statements regarding to insectivorous plants. Let me confirm. I'm not giving all the details, just primary information regarding to insectivorous plants. See, there are some plants that they have been adapted to catch insects and consuming them for the purpose of nitrogen. Remember, if anybody asks, do these plants perform photosynthesis? Of course, insectivorous plants can perform photosynthesis. They are not eating insects for the sake of energy. They are eating insects only for the sake of nitrogen. Generally, insectivorous plants, they grow in an area where soil does not contain sufficient amount of nitrogen. Insect body, which is made up of proteins, proteins contain amino acids. Amino acids are the best source of nitrogen. Getting the statement? That's why some plants have been developed some kind of equipments in order to catch insects for the sake of nitrogen. If they ask, do these plants are completely autotrophs? Remember, they perform autotrophy completely, but they do have a mechanism called partial heterotrophic nature. They eat insects only for just one kind of purpose. They are not completely heterotroph, they are partial heterotroph. But when it comes to whether they are autotrophs or heterotrophs, definitely they are autotrophs. They do perform photosynthesis. Okay. Then come to various other type of insectivorous plants. Among them, well-known plants are nepenthes, which is commonly called as pitcher plant. Let me take this. This is the picture of nepenthes. Pitcher. The term pitcher, you may aware of this. The jug which we use for pouring water on our dining table, the jug which we use for pouring water, that is called pitcher in Latin. Over there, the leaf has been modified in the form of pitcher. That pitcher will entrap insects for the sake of nitrogen. That is the final story. But when it comes to modification, what are the parts of the nepenthes, so-called pitcher plant, have been modified in the form of pitcher and etc. organs? See, this is pitcher. Pitcher is nothing but lamina. Lamina of the plant have been modified in the form of lamina of the leaf has been modified in the form of pitcher. This is, it's a kind of tendril, okay, and this one is petiole. Petiole become green and perform photosynthesis. Already I mentioned, what do we call if a petiole has been modified into green photosynthetic body? That should be called as phyllodes. See, leaf tip is converted in the form of cap of like this. Various parts of the pitcher plant leaf have been modified into different structure in order to survive. In that main one, pitcher. Picture of picture plant is nothing but leaf lamina, and also it has a tendril which is the lower part of leaf lamina, and its lamina lower part of leaf lamina, and also petiole of the plant, I mean that leaf petiole is converted into phyllodes to perform photosynthesis. These are the parts in case of nepenthes. One more is there, that is Utricularia. This is Venus flytrap. You check here, the leaves have been modified into a kind of cage-like structure in order to catch insects. This is Venus flytrap. Next one. When we talk about one more is there, that is Utricularia. Dionia, Venus flytrap. Utricularia, commonly called as bladderwort. Let me take it. This Utricularia, it's an interesting plant. Generally, Utricularia, which is commonly called bladderwort, it is an aquatic plant. It has stolons. You know stolons? Those parts of the stem which are near to water or near to soil, which will be helping for the plant to be propagated. This is the main stem. These are stolons. Okay. Inside the stolons, there would be a development of small variety of the body is called as bladder oats. What's nothing but they are appear like a cage like structure. With the help of the cage, they can able to trap insects. This is not a large plant, it's a small plant which is commonly well known as bladderwort. It has some small cage like structure. These cage like structures are called as warts or bladderworts. They are developed on stem. Finally, these bladderworts are nothing but a modification of leaves. The leaf will be modified in such a way that it can able to catch insects. Next one, the well-known one in our storage variety of leaf, onion. You take in the onion, the greenish part, it's called leaf petiole. The swollen part is nothing but leaf basis. In case of onion, there is a storage of food in their leaf basis. Like that, various things we observe. One suggestion regarding to any kind of modification. Some of the modification they did not directly mention in our NCERT book in morphology, but they have been indicated them in several places. Better to learn all those adaptations or morphological changes that are happening in a particular organ. Okay, that's about today's class. That's fine. Thank you. Okay, sir.